Our very first story that we're going to be reading is Diary of a Stern Counselor. As in, this is a diary of a counselor who was actually stern. As in, it's a stern one. Yeah? This is his diary, and I am going to be reading it out to you. Yeah. This is his diary, and I am going to be reading it out to you. Alright, so the title is Diary of a Stern Counselor. What? My Pastor's Choice. This is part 1. This story is written by EDEBOLA TIMMY. Yeah, EDEBOLA TIMMY. Alright, let's get started. What a glorious service, I said to myself as I laid on my bed trying to reminisce on today's sermon. A particular statement the pastor made. Eat the king's meat as a king, not as a servant, rang repeatedly in my ears. I am popularly known by everyone, both young and old, as the stern counselor. I am very pragmatic, plain, and straightforward, and I never withhold the truth. It has been a very busy and strenuous year for me. Having to solve different marital and relationship issues and having to deal with tough couples could be very frustrating, but God has been merciful. Alas, it's a public holiday and I finally have time for myself after many months of endless working. I played my favorite gospel song as I sang along and danced happily. Just when I decided to start cooking, my phone rang. It was a call from an unknown number, but I didn't want to pick it up. I have to rest. I am not ready for any marriage problems today, please. I muttered to myself. The phone rang repeatedly, and I was beginning to freak out. I just couldn't afford to switch the phone off. I picked up, and before I could utter a word, the caller didn't give me a chance. Hello, please save my marriage. My marriage is crumbling. My husband has sent me packing. Will God ever give me a second chance? The caller said tearfully. I tried to calm her down and reluctantly told her I would come pick her up when she said she was going to kill herself. God, how do I handle this? I don't even know who the caller is. I pondered. I rushed out of the house just before I started the car. I saw a text from the caller stating her address. I gave a heavy sigh and drove off. The clouds had gathered, and there was a heavy downpour all of a sudden, accompanied by deafening thunderclaps. On getting to the place, I became confused. The only person I saw was a beautiful young lady under the heavy rain. She can't be the caller, I said to myself, shaking my head. I went through my call logs and dialed the number. To my utmost shock and surprise, the lady I saw picked it up and walked towards my car. Hello, sir, she called out as she walked towards me. I then opened the door for her. I had lots of questions to ask her at the moment, but I had to resist the urge. She wept uncontrollably as I drove to my office. I made up my mind not to utter a word or console her. Maybe she really needs to cry out. It might help her, I thought within myself. Getting to my office, I made her a cup of coffee to shake off the cold. I knew it would be a long talk. I watched as she sipped the coffee amidst sniffs due to the cries. I had great sympathy for her. Thank you, sir, she said. I held her hands and said a word of prayer. Can you please tell me all that happened? I asked cautiously. Tears trickled down her face. I am Funke, and I am 35. I was born and bred in a Christian home by fervent parents. Many years ago, she began, One fateful day, I had just finished with my quiet time when Sade, my childhood friend, walked in. "Morning, bestie," Sade greeted me, grinding from ear to ear. This one you're smiling this morning. I know you have a good news," I teased. She laughed as she got up and walked majestically like a queen. She screamed happily. "Mike proposed!"